Okay, folks, welcome. Saturday night, and we're going to have a live session here of my second attempt to do this solo battle for using the Face of Battle rules. We did it a couple of nights ago. It was the first time I had played the rules in, say, 20 years, and it was just kind of a refresher course. Pretty happy with how everything went, even though I got a couple little things wrong. Not to be, I'm not worried about that. My biggest gripe was before I started the video, I had a false start and that threw me off. And then I forgot to monetize the video and I forgot to put the right title of the video. Ended up being like I think it was like a paint session or something like that. So we got it all straightened out. Don't know if you guys have checked it out. This one that was a very small battle that I did just to kind of get my feet wet. And it was literally like 4 defenders versus like 6 attackers. So this was going to be a little bit bigger. Not sure if we're going to get it done tonight. It's unlikely we'll get it done tonight because the other one took 3 hours. And actually, it went about at a pretty good pace once we got going. I had to look some things up. That's really what slowed everything down. But just pulling the individual chits and doing the actions worked pretty well. We did a couple different modifications this time. The battlefield, I have this on in my table, which actually cranks up. So instead of it being 3 feet off the ground, we gained another foot and change. So I'm able to not hurt my back as much. I've got my phone connected here. So hopefully if I find out we get disconnected, I'll get notified about that. Maybe we can do something about that. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I think last time it worked pretty well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got here. Now, this should look better than it did last time. And let me get this into position. And this is basically the battlefield. Now, this one's going to be, if you've seen any of my painting videos where I talked about doing the bricks, these are the bricks. Okay, these are the bricks from a company called Joella. They're a German company. I ended up getting mine through Australia because they won't sell to the public. It was difficult to get. And they turned out really well. Really, really well. I'm very happy with it. Because you've got these destroyed buildings and they need to have stuff there or it looks like, it doesn't look right. So, and of course, I'm a modeler, so we're going to be talking about, if you guys got any questions on any of the terrain and stuff that's done here, let me know. I painted this all myself. These are pre-purchased buildings. I painted them all. These bricks, we gave them a stain to make them look more like the bricks here. We've got some additional lighting. And even more additional lighting. So we got lots of stuff going on here. The whole intent is for this to look good and have a really interesting narrative. Almost the whole battle is on the screen there. And I've got a dummy background here so that you won't have to see whatever is in this room. It's not light blue and there's not a background to it, but hey, it is what it is. So here's the scenario. If you watched the battle last week, or I guess it's last week, Thursday, you'll know that, I'm not going to spoil it, but let's just say there's some folks that survived. And the Germans were on the defense, and the German survivor decided to, he fell back, got some buddies, and he's going back and paying this guy a visit that's left over. There was one survivor for the Americans. He basically is like, I'm not going to storm this house by myself. I'm going to come back. And he fell back on this position where the Americans are defending. So this time the Americans are defending and the Germans are on the attack. The Germans are going to be a Panzer Grenadier squad that are going to come out of the half-track. Now, we're not going to use the half-track rule, so it's going to start already parked somewhere. And then they're going to pour out of it, okay? And they're going to attempt to neutralize what's left of this town. Now, this town is damaged, okay? And it's on fire. And I actually made these. These are actually pretty cool. They'll actually, light I'm only going to use the lit stuff if there's like a fire or something like that. My intent is to use those when vehicles blow up. We don't have anything that can knock out the half track. Okay, so that's really not going to come into play. I'm not going to turn these things on, but we could have them all going, like fun times. These buildings that have a fire on them, which is 1, 2, 3. These 3 buildings. There's 2 fires on that one, but that's really only one building over there. Those are out of play. You cannot go into those buildings. And that was just my way of just saying, hey, let's have a stop here. Otherwise, you could, I can't really film back there without a second camera. Okay, you'd have to just trust me on everything. Okay, all the buildings, like this one, are removable, and there is a bottom floor on them with a floor plan for the bottom floor. These buildings are from hovels, and that's how they decided to design them. It's kind of annoying, but if you've got guys at the bottom floor, they can be on this floor plan, and then when they move up to the top floor, they'll actually be here, represented here. And we may have to move them off to the side if there's fire combat that's going in there. This just went up another 1.5 feet or so. So I may have I can't reach this problem. So we got a stool over here in case we need to do a line of sight check with the laser. Okay? So we've got that. We already used this in the first battle, so it came in handy. This Army Painter laser. Again, I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm just showing you the stuff that I use. Okay, these are hovels buildings, Juela bricks. I cut little pieces of, the bricks look fine, but you got to have other stuff with them. And in the future, I'm probably going to have some other little rubble. But so far, I'm pretty happy with how this looks. It looks really good if you look down the road. But so these 3 buildings are out of play. You've got these 3 brick buildings, or what's left of them, rubble, and the Germans are taking this town. They want to take this town and neutralize whatever kind of issue that is. And this is just kind of a learning scenario. So we're going to take a natural progression to the next step. We're still not going to throw mortars in. And this is all open talk. So, there's no element of surprise here other than we're going to try to do things how they would do normally. My intent is to play this out so that I have a really good understanding of the rules. So when I have local players come, I know what the hell I'm talking about. Okay, we're not looking things up. But like I said, it went pretty well last time. I suspect it might go better this time. We'll see. And if you guys are joining us, feel free to type, hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Because I'm going to ask from time to time. I'm going to say, hey, this guy can do this or that. What do you guys think? Do a little bit of a pause. If I don't hear anything, that we're just going to kind of decide. And hopefully an interesting narrative happens. No grenades were thrown last Thursday. I don't know if that's still going to be the case, but it'd be nice to see some grenades being thrown. Well, before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and introduce the forces that I have designated for this showdown. And if you have not seen and let me change the chat to all chat. If you have not seen the game from the other night, there might be spoilers, okay? Because the folks that were in the battle that survived, there was only 2 survivors, 1 on each side. They're in this battle again, okay? And now one thing I didn't add to them is I didn't add what their skills are. We did everybody with 60-60. So everybody had a skill rating of 60. And I did all this stuff, this prep stuff, which took me about an hour, honestly, to do. And I didn't put that on there, and it was on the other sheet. So everybody has a morale of 60. And everybody's going to have a skill of 60. Just to keep it simple. That's just average soldiers with average morale. Except for the 2 survivors. Okay? Calvin for the Americans is going to be a 65. I don't know, just to do something different, okay? And then, I don't know if it'll make a difference. And the Germans are all 60-60 as well. And the survivor for the Germans, who is Langer, is going to be the same, 60, 65, 60. I said 65 and I want to write 65. Not yet, dumbass. World's worst multitasker. Actually, I'm a terrible multitasker, but I multitask better than I shuffle cards. So still shuffling cards is the worst. I don't cook, and I can cook better than shuffling cards. Okay, so everybody's got a 60-60 skill, a 60 skill, which is your base number, and a 60 morale, which is your average number, for except the two survivors, their skill is up 5. Okay. So what we have is Americans are going to be in the street. I don't know. They're looking at the fires billowing, and then they hear a German half track, and they go, "Oh shit, we got to go defend something." So the Americans are going to be somewhere in this street, and then they're going to start from there. The Germans are going to pour out of their half track, except Langer, who's going to be next to the half track. Okay. So we have a Panzer Grenadier squad that has 12 men plus Langer. Where is Langer? Because he's in the wrong place. Okay. And the Panzer Grenadier squad has a squad leader who's Metzler, an assistant squad leader who's Olszewski. Both of those guys have MP40s. We have two teams, 2 MG42s. One of them would normally be in the pintle mount of the half track. It's been removed because they're going to take it with them. The half track's out of gas or something, typical German problem. Okay, so we got 2 fire teams of MG42s, both with bipods. 2 MG42s, 2 assistants, both of them with Mausers, and 6 other guys with Mausers. Okay. So you got Schaefer, MG42, with his assistant Littmeyer, Zorner with his assistant Engelmann. The riflemen are Worth, Halm, Freeman, Alderman, Keller, and Larson. And of course, Langer's there. All right. All of these guys, the riflemen are equipped with only the rifle and 2 grenades. Okay, except Langer, who in the last battle only had 1 grenade, didn't use it. This squad, when they ran into him, isn't going to give him any grenades. So Langer has 1 grenade. All these guys have 2 grenades. All right. The squad leader and assistant squad leader are both equipped with MP40s and P38s as a sidearm. Last battle, we did not have P38s. Okay, so if your machine gun jams, if your MP40 jams, you still have a P38 you can shoot. All right. Very short range, but hey, this is a very short range battle. It might come in handy. You never know. The MG42s, as was standard operator, the operators of those also have a P38. Okay, they have a P38 in a holster, but the MG gunners do not have grenades. These 2 guys don't have grenades. The assistants have 1 grenade each. So 1 grenade, 1 grenade, 1 grenade. The light machine gunners don't have any. The 2 squad assistant and squad leaders and the squad leaders each have 2, along with all the riflemen who also have 2. That's the Germans, also known as the bad guys. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. This isn't the Russian front where they can both be bad guys. Okay, the Amerikaners on the other side. We have the survivor, Calvin, who's equipped with a Garand. Not only is he equipped with a Garand, he's equipped with Scott's Garand. If you don't know what the hell that means, watch the other battle. Okay, he has a Garand and 1 grenade. Okay, which is what he had in the last battle. Okay, this heavy half squad, or part of a squad, however you want to look at it, has a squad leader, Wallace, who is equipped with a Thompson submachine gun and a 1911. Varela, who is the assistant squad leader, has a Garand, no sidearm. 2 BAR gunners, no sidearm. They only have the BAR. Okay, and 3 guys with Garands. All of these guys have 2 grenades each, except for the 2 BAR gunners that have 1, and Calvin that has 1. If you can't keep track of that, I can. I have it written down. I have it written down, and I thought about why they have that. Okay? So that's what's going on. The leadership thing. We did something a little bit different. Both leaders are different. Okay? Wallace is a veteran leader, and he has a radius of 8. He has 2 leadership tokens. So not only does he have his own 2 tokens, he has 2 leadership tokens as well. This guy is a no-nonsense guy. And if you see, I took a look at him and I'm like, yeah, this guy looks like he's been around the block a lot. Maybe he's been in the First World War. He's got a cigar that he's chewing on. You know. Got a couple of rockers on his sergeant as well. Okay. He's got an 8-inch radius where he can command guys as long as they're in line of sight. And he's within 8 inches of them. And he has 2 leadership actions, 2 recovery actions. That means he can, when his leadership comes up, he can actually recover. Actually, I need to look at that. We'll worry about that when it comes up. Okay, and he has a 4-inch radius for Varela, and he only has 1 leadership token and 1 recovery action. I'll look at that before we get started. How about that? The Germans. The squad leader has a 6-inch radius. He has 1 additional leader token and 2 recovery actions. So he's kind of in between these 2. And then the Olszewski is the same as Varela, 1 and 1. Okay? That's the forces. All their tokens are in here. Okay? So, I'm not sure if anybody's watching. This is going to be turn 1. You guys kind of give me some input of where people are going to go when their chick comes up. And if you wait too long, I'll decide for you. You know, you guys can play along if you want to. If not, you can just have that 3rd beer. All right, so the Americans. And there's no mortars. Okay, so that's probably the next thing we'll do is we'll probably do mortars. Now, the last battle, we had a total of 10 figures on both sides, and it lasted about 3 hours. And that's with me looking stuff up. So I suspect this is probably going to last double that, because there's about twice as many figures here. But, hey, we have this area in my room. This is my painting room. This is my my hobby room. This is where my stuff is that I put away. On this side, I don't think I can tilt it down, but this is where I normally paint. So if you guys are here in the mornings, oh, we got a mess there. Yeah, that's what we're going to start with in the morning, cleaning that up. So that's that normal side. This is the other side that we're going to be using it for the time being. So anyhow, I got a pretty good setup. I didn't realize that I could crank this. I hadn't thought about cranking it up until today. And I'm like, that's good. That'll save my back. So let's move this a little bit out of the way and tilt this down, and we should be able to get most of the major players in action. Now, where is the edge of the board from the camera? Let's see. Can I move this even farther away? I think that's what we're going to need to do. All right. And then, okay, perfect. Here is the edge of the board. All right. That's how we're going to have to, that's how we're going to have to do it for the time being. Okay. Perfect. And the German half-track is just going to be parked here out of gas. Behind these trees. So you've got this hedgerow here. It's got a little corner here so you can't see all the way to where the half-track is. It's parked behind the trees. The Germans are going to pour out of here except for Langer. Langer is going to be behind the half track here. I know you can't see him, but barely. He's not going to be there long, trust me. That's where he's going to be. And of course, these are woods. You're not going to be able to see very far into them. I'm going to look that up and see how far you can see through it, because yesterday we just kind of ignored it. They were going about through 5 inches. You know, we're going to have to make executive decisions just to kind of keep the ball moving. I'm not necessarily interested in, you know, trying to beat myself. It's just to kind of see that we know how to run this game for, you know, other players. Okay? And the Americans are going to start, well, back in here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put, and you're just going to have to trust me because you can't see back here. I'm not smart enough how to do another camera yet. But that forces them to have to move somewhere. So we got Wallace and Varela. They're here in the middle. Let's move them over this way. That way it's easier for them to either go into this building, or this one. Or all three, which is probably what they should do. And then a couple of VAR gunners, we'll put one on either side of them. Starting to feel like I'm on one of those model railroads, the height of this thing. Okay? A couple guys with Garans. And Calvin, bringing up the rear. Just checked out the grocery store to see that nothing was going on. The other Germans are in the half track, and they're going to move out of it as they come out, as their token gets pulled. All right? Everybody cool? All right. Like I said, if you guys want to play along, just speak up. And, you know, you got to do something reasonable. You can't be, we're not here to try stupid shit. Hey, what happens when I jump on my own grenade? Yeah, we're not going to do that. Okay. All right, we got our movement card over here. What time we said we're going to start? 8? Well, pretty close to that. Already have another one here. All right, cool. Let's leave that. Let's look at those terrain things that we're talking about. I'm going to move these Germans out of the way. Not the terrain things, the thing on the leader action. I'm going to do that now. And actually, I'm going to look on the terrain, see how much of that we can see through. Weather, events, camouflage, fires, foxholes, amphibious landing, yeah, none of that. Cavalry, vehicle, terrain. We're going to go to trees, C13. By the way, this is the other map that I have. Also made by that person that I will not mention because I did not have a good experience with them. But it also had some damage on it, even though they sent me to... This was the replacement to replace the other one. It's a little bit lighter green. A little more yellow than the other one. I just figured I'd mix it up a little bit. This includes coniferous deciduous trees represented by individual trees on the gaming table. Trees that are placed to indicate a forest should still be individual trees for cover purposes. Okay, I don't play that way. I won't be playing that way. I'm not, you know, because this area is just to put the trees, and then they're removable, and then they might not get put back exactly in the same place. The outside of this foliage is really the outside of the trees. And that's where you get the effect for it, okay? It's considered soft terrain, sure. Tree trunks are hard terrain types. We're not going to let people hide behind tree trunks. Individual trees do not affect infantry movement. Certain trees will stop a vehicle. Well, yeah, vehicles aren't going to be. There's no vehicles moving through here. Where is the spotting? And if I can't figure it out quickly, then we're going to do like we did yesterday, because When in doubt, use common sense. Forests and jungles, C18. See if that's C19. I'm going to look in this place and then we're going to get moving. Okay, any unit spotting into a forest or jungle from the outside, well, we're going to consider this as forest or whatever. Forest light, 8 inches. So once you're more than, we're going to call this medium. 6 inches. You can see 6 inches into it. Okay? More than 6 inches and you're not going to be able to do anything with it. All right? Okay, folks, you guys ready to get started? Is anybody watching? Are you not entertained? Have a sip of coffee. Happy Saturday night, folks. All right. If it's half as exciting as what the other night, we'll have a successful game. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is turn one. I need to get a die that's much larger than this one. All right, who's going to be the first one picked? Engelman. Okay, so Engelman is the assistant of Zorner's MG42. All right? And, well, he doesn't need to get very far before Zorner can figure out where he's going to go. So, oh, this is nice. It tells you what your movement restriction is. And we're not going to play with stances again. Okay, that tremendously, I mean, unless you're in a forced stance, like you're forced to go prone, or I guess the light machine guns, they have to probably go prone as well. But nobody else, we're gonna fool with that. So forest medium, 3/4 of a move. So they normally can move 5, so I can move them about 3.5 inches. So does it say how much to get out of a vehicle? Well, we're just going to use common sense. We're going to move him over here. Okay, so he's going to be in the woods. He's not fully as far as he can go, but he doesn't want to decide where he's going to go until Zorner shows up. Okay, because he needs to be with him. All right. Next chip. It's like, where'd I put the bag? All right. Zorner. Careful whose name you mentioned. They might just show up. Zorner is MG42 gunner. Okay, and I'm going to have him go right over here. So what I'm planning on doing with the Germans is I'm going to take their squad and split it in half. One of them is going to go through these woods and provide supporting fire with the MG42, fire on those buildings. The other one is going to cross the street as fast as they can, get over there, hunker down, and then recover from their fatigue. We don't want to get caught in the middle of the open here, and then run all the way to the end and do the same thing over here. So you can have one over here shooting this way, trying to cross this distance, and then the same thing with the other one. And Langer, we'll just see where the chits fall. Okay? The Americans, I'm going to need your input. Who's going to go into this building? Who's going to go into this one? Who's going to go into this one? This one is a little more difficult to get to, but it's got lots of windows. It's got a second floor. Terry. Okay, Terry has a BAR. He's down here. What are we going to do with Terry? Terry is right here. He's right here behind this building. I mean, heck, he can go up to this opening and shoot out of it. Kind of limited where he can see, but... Or he is on that side, so he's one of the guys that technically could be getting into this building as close as as soon as possible. That's probably a good thing for him to do. If we're going to put somebody over in that building, maybe have it be Terry, who's already over there. What do you guys think? I mean, he could move 5. which is going to leave them in the middle of the street. We're not doing that. We'd fatigue move them and get them inside. And it's just a matter of, do we go up to the second floor, or we just get into one of these doorways? You know, you got a better field of view from the second floor. He's not going to be able to reach it in one turn. But the roof is open. So that's going to be more of a problem with grenades. You know, and right now, if he does that, nobody's going to be able to spot him. Because there's no Germans that could see him. I think we're going to fatigue move his ass. Let's get the fatigue markers out. We're going to need them. We always do. And we can move him 10. Oh, wait. He's carrying a BAR. No, it's not an equipment modifier. It's not a flamethrower, medium machine gun, heavy machine gun, mortar, medium mortar, or heavy mortar. So he can still move 10. Well, he's going to be tired. He's going to be huffing and puffing, that's for sure. So that's going to get him to here. He's going to go through that door. Make a beeline. And he can't quite make it to these windows, but he can make it to that doorway. Okay, so we're going to pick this up. Take Terry. It's marked here. There's the doorway, and then we're going to put it down. Can you see him there? Hello? Hello? There he is. And if he doesn't see any Germans, for sure, the next time his turn comes up, he's going to go ahead and take that fatigue off. Okay? Because he got himself into a good position. All right, Terry. Next, Crawford. Okay, Crawford has, look at that. Crawford is right behind him. Crawford has a Garand. And he's going to follow Terry over there. The nice thing about this building, if something goes sideways, they've got this other part of the building to fall into. Unfortunately, there's no connecting wall between them. You have to get creative, but at least they've got somewhere else to go if things go sideways. He can't quite make it. He's going to be in the middle of the building. And he'll be fatigued. There's no point in stopping in the middle of the freaking street. That's just asking for... We're putting it in front of him. Let's be consistent. Hey, Maroon, back for more. We got a lot more destruction on this table than the other one. These, by the way, are those bricks. If you saw all those Joella bricks, this is what 20,000 bricks looks like. And they stained really well. I mean, they look fucking fabulous. Now. Okay, and that's Crawford. All right. Next. Metzler. Metzler is the head honcho of the Germans. And he is some kind of sergeant. All right? And since one of the teams, one of the LMG teams is out, I'm going to go ahead and put him there with them because that's what his main responsibility is, to make sure those guys are in good order, put in suppressive fire. Okay? So this is the team that is going to move through here and do the fire base from here and try to attack this way. The other team is going to try to cross across. All right? And they're not going to stop in the middle of the street. Okay? And they've already pulled one of the machine guns off. Hope Calvin has cleaned his Garand for this game. There you go. It's actually Scott's Garand. It's actually Scott's Garand. Calvin, the man with scrim. Scrim, sorry, right? That's what he has on his helmet. Scrim. You named him. You're the Scrim Meister. I actually loved it. I love the Calvin figure. It is a really cool figure. Okay, so that's what Metzler does. That's his token, not his command token. Wallace leadership action. So Wallace is the badass sergeant that is in the middle of the street. Okay? This is one of his 2 leadership tokens. So he can't give these guys another command because they're out of 8 inches away. All right? Even if he can see them, which is doubtful. So he can issue an order to somebody else. Now, considering it's within 5 inches of here, I think he should tell none other than Calvin to move into a position where he can use the doorway for cover and be prepared and just move in there. I think that's probably the correct move. And then Calvin will still have his 2 orders. I mean, I can order anybody. It might as well be Calvin. Or the other BAR gunner. The other thing we can do is tell one of the BAR gunners, hey, hustle, get a fatigue move, and go through the building, up the stairs, and get prone about here. And then he can be prone. We're only going to allow the machine gunners to go prone, so they don't have a minus with a bipod. Okay, is to go prone over in this position. Although, the problem if something goes sideways and you're here, there's not really anywhere to fall back on. So maybe it's not a good idea to put anybody here. I think on these buildings, the only one that is really seems like it has a good position is this one over here. In this little corner, there's a place where somebody can be and get some good cover and still fire out of it. That actually, now what happens if we bring a BAR gunner that way? Can he make it? Well, he can make it part of the way. I don't know. What do you think, Jeffrey? I mean, I don't have a problem with a guy being up here, but their way of escape, the only way down is this stairway that is going to be in the line of fire of every single person, every crowd that they can be able to see. So, I don't necessarily have an opinion one way or the other. I mean, there's a minus to everything. So, it might be better just to not even put anybody in this building. And that way, you don't have, because I only got 2 leaders. So if you got one guy managing this one and one managing that one, we're okay. If you've got guys here, here, and there, I mean, what's this one going to gain you that that doesn't give you? Well, other than firing positions, because there's only, do we have a window here? We do have a window. We got 2 windows there and a doorway. That's 3 guys can man that, and you can have a leader that can run interfere. Yeah, that might be okay. That might be okay. I said we're not going to put anybody in that building. We're not going to move anybody in that building. And that way, this BAR gunner, we'll have the BAR gunner come up, not Calvin, have the BAR gunner move up. Watch this. We're going to move this out of the way. Boop. And move in to this doorway. Now this is going to be the tricky part. Well, we know where he is. Okay? And that's Wallace's order. That's his first order. By the way, that's Davis. Davis, get your ass in there! Whatever else you want him to say. Okay? All right, moving right along. And he didn't have to use a fatigue move. Wallace's other order. Okay. Well, Shoot. Can he see him? Yeah, he can. Get in that building! Oh, and climb your ass on up to the top. So he's going to go ahead and climb up to the top. That's going to be like 2.5. And then, let's see, if you end prone, you go from standing to prone, you can move 4 inches. That's 2.5 easily. So now we've got Davis, who hasn't even gone yet. Okay? So he gets both of his actions. Is sitting here, prone. And that's because he's going to get a minus if he's trying to sit up there without weapon. I guarantee it's a problem. So I'm going to put a little P next to him. Okay? He's prone. Now, he's got a pretty good vantage point there. Now, there's no opportunity fire in this game. Thank God. That's one of the blessings. Because that really slows down a game. But he's sitting all the way up here. Let's kill some of these lights. Okay? He's sitting up here. He's got a pretty good line of sight. Okay? And he hasn't gone yet. And the Germans don't know he's up there. So we're going to act like we don't know he's up there. Because the Germans, I'm planning on running them around this hedgerow and running over into here. And then work your way through the woods. Okay? All right. So Davis is sitting in a pretty good position up there. Okay? And hasn't even gone. Neither one of his 2 actions have done. Wallace has used his 2 leadership actions. Okay? They're no longer in play for this turn, for turn 1. Hey, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe if you like this. Okay, Olszewski, which is spelled Olszewski, but the Germans pronounce the W's like V's, so it's Olszewski. He's a German of Polish descent, don't tell anybody. Is the assistant squad leader. He's going to move out. He's going to lead the other squad that's going to head on over there, okay? But he doesn't want to get left too far behind. But that's his leadership action. Okay? That's not him. So he's going to say, hey, other machine gunner who happens to be Schaefer, get out of the half track and get on the other side of the road and hustle. Okay? So he's going to move 10. He's going to tell Schaefer to go ahead and move 10. He's going to exit the half track. And he's just going to be barely into the woods over here, fatigued. Okay? That's his 1 action. He only gets 1. The Germans only have 1 each. All right. Alderman. Alderman is just a regular rifleman. And he doesn't really know what's going on that side. So we already have an established fire team of guys over here. So he's going to move. How far can he move? 3/4? He's going to move over here. Okay? And that's Alderman. One of the surprises that happened the other night, I was pleasantly surprised, as I was concerned about rolling dice and you guys couldn't see them. And there's no dice rolls that are going to be allowed on the table. Things move, counters get shifted. My rubble is strategically placed where it's supposed to be, and I don't like it being tinkered with. So I just brought this up to the camera and rolled, and it seemed to work pretty well. So hopefully we continue to do that. I got to be careful not to knock down any trees, but where the individual trees isn't really that important. Next guy up, Keller. Keller is the bareheaded blonde rifleman. And since this squad is literally split in two, and we already know something going on here, and he's not the assistant, I'm going to move him over here next to where Alderman is. Okay? So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys here. Keller's done. Well, his first move anyways. Next one up. Olszewski himself. Well, he already used his leadership action, right? So he's going to hustle too. And he's going to make it over here with Schaefer. Now, I don't think he can make it over to where the woods are. I mean, not everybody can be over there. So he took off with him. Because there's no point in him sitting back there. And if these guys go again, they're not going to remove the fatigue. They're going to go ahead and move a normal move in. Then when they're in the safety of the woods, then they can take a breather. But they're not into the woods yet. Okay? Olszewski's done. One of his two actions. Who's up next? Keller gets to move again. Well, Keller's like, I don't know what these guys are back here talking about, but I want to see some Americanas. There is a grocery store there, and I want to see what they have, what wares they have. So he's going to move 3.5 into the woods. Keller has gone twice, and unless he gets activated by a leader, he's done. He will not move again this turn. End of story. Okay? Next guy, Martin. Martin is a guy with a Garand. And he's closer to that side. So he's going to do a double fatigue move and join those guys over in the other building. Not a double fatigue move, but a double move, which is a fatigue move. Okay? And where is he relative to I don't think he's any closer. Yeah, he's going to be... Can't shoot or anything there. The only guy that has a line of sight is Terry, who's at the door. So here's the two BAR guys. One's here at this doorway. The other one's up here prone. All right? That's the two BAR guys they have. The BAR, by the way, can use spraying fire. It actually can only spray fire, I think. It can only spray fire, but it has Garand type range. So. All right. Moving right along. No smoke grenades in here. We do have grenades, though. Hopefully somebody will have the opportunity to throw one. Calvin, remember him? Well, Calvin's kind of seeing things happen. We got one more leader that's going to be able to go in there, right? There's a total of 7 guys. Calvin's going to be on one of the sides. Either Calvin's going to be over here or Calvin's going to be over here. So we got space for 3 guys easily. 1, 2, and then a doorway. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you get 4 guys there. You get more than 4 guys there. What do you think? You guys have a preference? If Calvin goes over there, the junior leader is going to have to go over there. Varela is going to have to go over there. If he goes into this part of the building, he can only see over here. That's not very useful. I'm going to move him into this building because there's some more opportunities. There's a second floor here that something can happen. You're not going to want to move up there. I mean, there's some cover, but it's not great. So we're going to double move and we're going to get underneath this ladder or whatever the hell that is. Okay? And it's going to take a fatigue move to move Calvin. So he's going to be there. Let me get the fatigue counter for him. Not that it's hard to remember, but still, get in the habit. That's why it's important to say, hey, this guy's here, so if somebody gets jostled, no worries, you can find out where they are. Next token. Halm. Okay, Halm is a rifleman. If we're going to split this in half, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only one more guy can go this way. I'm going to send Halm that way with a fatigue move. I'm going to leave that spot for his assistant if he makes it across here. So, we're going to see 5. Home is going to be here. Again, you could probably play this first turn and just move guys how you wanted to, but it's kind of a refresher course. Hey, that allows some of you guys to go ahead and get the popcorn ready. Because about turn 3 is going to be really interesting. And turn 4 is even more interesting. Crawford. Okay, Crawford is right here. He's not at a window. So he can remove the fatigue or move the window and have the fatigue. And there's a window here, and then there's a window there. That's why it's marked on there. So I'm able to move to them and know where they're at. He's ahead of everybody else. I'm going to have him go to this window here, and he's still fatigued. And Crawford's done. Next guy up, Martin. Martin is in this building? He is. Same thing. We're going to have him move to this window. And he's still fatigued. So we got a Garand guy, and the BAR guy. All fatigued. I'll put the F behind him. And then Calvin is at the bottom of the stairs. Or ladder, or whatever it is, to get up to this. It's kind of weird. You would have a second-story building up there. You have in and out going through a ladder. But, hey, that's what it looks like. It's pretty small opening. Doesn't really matter what it is at this point. It's going to take one turn to get up there. Larson. Larson is the guy that decided not to wear a helmet today. He's got one of them field caps, or whatever the hell they're called. Okay? There's one more rifleman that can go over there. If you want to be split sort in half, I'm going to have him run across the opening as well. He's going to run over here. Let's move the fatigue counter forward. This is where a rifle grenade would just ruin these guys' day. Okay? And he's fatigued as well. Why are you being a dick? Okay. Next. Only 3 Germans left to need to leave the building. The half track. Metzler. That's the squad leader again. He's like, hey, listen, guys, follow me. We got to move through these woods. So I'm going to take this woods. We know where it is. We'll just move it out of the way for the time being. And he's going to move about there. Okay. And he's done. Next guy. Dickerson. Oh, we haven't heard from that guy. Dickerson's got a Garand. and he's back over here. I think he should move over to this doorway. I think moving to that doorway is probably the right place for him to be. He can move there, not be fatigued, and it's, I think, more useful than being at one of these openings here. Okay. Do they show up on there? Yeah, I guess they're visible. Certainly if you remove the roof. That's why we're talking through it. Metzler's leadership action. Okay? Well, Metzler could see these guys here. So what I want to know is, I'm going to look and see what the recovery action is now. Okay? Because I don't want it to be a situation where we could have done something and we didn't do it. All right? So I'm going to set this off to the side. We're going to go over, it's just easier to just go and look at through the reference here. Okay, a leader that is broken or pinned may now use leadership actions, okay? What I'm looking for is not there. Actions, skill, morale, self-rally. Let me look at self-rally. I think only the leaders can actually self-rally. To accomplish the city and recovery checks and actions, since leaders cannot use leadership cards on themselves, they must use their own soldier card for self-rally. All soldiers removing a pin result must self-rally. So the other night, I said it was automatic. You have to roll for it. A leader can automatically remove their own pin counter. So a leader can do it the way I was doing it the other night, but the soldiers have to roll. Only leaders may recover from a broken morale result using self-rally. A broken counter on leader is not automatically removed. Okay, perfect. Recovery action. A leader through a normal action or using their leadership card can remove the effects of a soldier's morale failure. A leader can automatically remove a shaken, pinned, broken, surrender, or hesitate morale result. A leader must have authority of the soldier to be within his zone of control and line of sight to perform a recovery action. When a leader uses a recovery action to remove a morale effect, the soldiers now have to make the dice rolls required for self-rally. The counter is simply removed from play. Okay, perfect. So, Metzler's leadership action is going to be to go ahead and tell Zorner to keep moving that thirsty gun and move it up here and keep going. And he can just do a regular move. He's going to move up here. Guy with the MG42. Okay. Varela, leadership action. So Varela is the assistant here for the Americans. He has a Garanda, and he's sitting there in the middle of the street. He's got no-nonsense Sergeant Rock next to him. He can't tell Sergeant Rock to do anything because he doesn't outrank him. He ain't going to listen to him, you know? So he can order Dickerson to do something, or that's it. That's all he can do because he's not within the zone of those guys in the building, and he can't see Davis up here. But do we want Dickerson up here with Davis? I'm starting to think that's probably not a good thing. Or maybe you guys disagree. You think you should move up there? Or should I do a die roll? Leave it to chance. Or did you guys all fall asleep? I'm not going to move them up there because I made a special rule for prones just to just for the guys with the LMG. I don't want to start being able to put everybody prone. That's really going to bog the game down. So we're just not going to order anybody. I think Dickerson's fine where he's at. And there's nobody else really he can order. Die roll. Well, what would he do? Die roll to see if Dickerson moves up? All right. Be nice if I could find a die roll. Ben's awake. Don't go to sleep, man. It's going to be a late night. You don't have to work tomorrow, man. Oh, no die rolls on the table, remember? I don't have to castigate myself. All right. Odd, he moves up. It is a 9. He's moving on. Who's moving on up? I'm going to allow him to go prone. Because there's basically no cover up there unless he goes prone. He's going to go. And he's also P. If he gets killed up there, it's your fault, Ben. You know, Americans are your allies, okay? Okay. Oh, the nice thing is we get to see this beautiful rubble. I mean, I guess you could have just shimmied out in this rubble, but yeah, no. You might as well have a height advantage on something. Because he's going to be able to shoot at those guys over there. Just so you know, when he gets in their position. And he's not, what do you call it? He's not fatigued. Neither one of them are. I'm pretty sure they got line of sight to those clans over there. Cast what yourself? Man, that rule is strictly enforced. That's right. Castigate yourself. Where's the other die? There it is. More castigation. Castigation and procrastination. All right. Next up, good old Calvin. Yeah, buddy. Did you watch the video? Well, you know Calvin survived. I can't keep doing that because, you know, I don't have that many guys, you know. So the next battle with Americans, if all these guys die, you're going to see him again. It's their younger brother. Calvin is down here at the bottom. He's going to either remove the fatigue or climb up to the top. I'm kind of tempted. He's going to climb up to the top and still be fatigued. He's not going to be at a window or anything. Actually, I could move. Yeah, I'm not going to have him at a window. He can move up there when he's in good order. See, that's why he's got that camouflage on his helmet, right? Yeah, the town looks it looks better than this video. This video's not doing it justice. It's the bricks, man. The bricks. And I'm still going to get some chippings. You know, that is going to look like the wall, just wall shit, and it'll be sprinkled in between the bricks as well. And that'll be, you know, yeah, it looks pretty freaking good. But this is 20,000 bricks. So if you got to do Stalingrad, how many of these? You know, it's relatively expensive. It was like $60 with shipping. But I have a feeling that I'm not going to lose that many from battle to battle. So, like in Zulu, it's Calvin 470. Okay, hold on a second here. Hold on. I got to check that damn heart's in the way. Like in Zulu, it's Calvin 475. I don't know what that means. I gotta watch Zulu again. Yeah, well, we're gonna have to stop about 11 for sure. Okay, and then tomorrow morning I can't do this because tomorrow morning the wife's asleep. So we're gonna turn this around and go back to painting. All right. I got some cool stuff. I'm not going to interrupt this video and show you what it is, but I got some Brits almost done and an Airfix crew member done. So We'll do that in the morning. For those of my regular crew folks. All right. Olszewski, he's the assistant squad leader, and he made it across the street. Okay? He's not going to remove fatigue right now. He wants to get the hell into those freaking woods. Follow me, you fools! So I'm going to remove this tree. I'm going to go ahead and put the tree back over here. There you go. Swapping trees. Tree swap. It's a thing. And he's still fatigued. You got to get in the freaking woods. All right? That's Olszewski. There's so many Williams in the Army, they refer to them using their number. Ah, okay. Well, I can't have repeat guys. I mean, I can have a Smith and I can have a Schmidt. You know, like the Germans can have a Schmidt and the Allies can have a Smith. But if there's I guess you could have an American Smith and a British Smith. That'd be okay, but because they're not going to be on the... I'm not going to have... There's one starter scenario that has, for the Allies, has an American squad, a British squad, and a partisan squad. I'm like, okay, I call bullshit, all right? But I can tell you right now, the next battle is going to have French partisans in it. Just letting you know, okay? And that one is going to be... That one's just going to be funny. Okay? Some crazy shit's going to happen. I hope. That's going to have a vehicle in it, okay? They're going to have a vehicle that they're going to drive around and try to get into. Worth is still in the vehicle, you slackjaw. All right, Worth. Hustle. Rouse. Rouse, Worth. Rouse. Worth. W-E-R-T-H. He's going to do a double move. Olszewski's spot is free, so he's going to take it up. He's going to take it over. He's just a rifleman. Actually, one of my favorite looking figures. It's a great casting. There's a lot of Williams in there, huh? 11 viewers, welcome. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe, folks. Especially subscribe, that way you'll know when I'm on again. Alderman. Is Alderman out? Yep, Alderman's out. He's over here. Alderman's going to move up. He's not going to move next to the machine gunner because that's where this Engelman, if he ever gets off of his ass, this is only split seconds in between this in real time. He's going to move over here next to Keller, over next to Helen. Okay. Next, Worth. Worth gets to move again. Worth is going to move over here and still fatigued. He made it. He didn't get killed by those guys sitting at the top. There are also other spellings of Smith, the Irish Smith and the anglicized Smith with an E. Well, we're gonna have a guy with your spelling of a last name, just so you know. And it might just be the guy with the bagpipes. I don't have one, but you know what? I'm going to let you name the bagpiper. You got to come up with a good name. You can't just be, what was that thing that they did? Bodie McBoatings or whatever. It's like, yeah, they had some contest in the UK where they had to name some ship, and the winner was Floaty McBoaty or something like that. And I'm like, no, that's just dumb. You got to use common sense. So I don't have a bagpiper yet though, but Larson. Larson is this clown over here with a cap. This guy showed up wearing one of them field caps to a battlefield. I'm going to have him go along over here. Bodie McFloater, you know what I'm talking about. That's why letting people vote's a bad idea. Because there's some folks with some really bad ideas that like to vote for shit. Everywhere. Langer. Whoa, remember him? He's over here by the half track. He's like, I don't know about crossing that open ground. The last time I saw guys crossing open ground, I host them. Bah, bah, so I'm like, he's not going to do that. He's going through the woods. F this noise. But he doesn't need to hustle because he's fine letting these guys prod ahead. Bodie McBoatface, exactly. Don't let people vote for things with bad ideas. I'd say take an IQ test, but there's people with really high IQs that are stupid. So maybe a common sense taste. Common sense taste? I'm not going to tell you what that might entail. Wallace, all right. Since you guys are wide and awake, we've got one leader that's going to go handle these two guys. And then all the other guys are over here. Wallace is the head leader. I'm thinking he needs to go where more of the guys are at. I think that's where he needs to be. There's another BAR team. There's 4 guys over here. That'll put 5 here and then 3 there. I think that's where he needs to go over there. It'd be silly to use his expertise. There's multiple levels. Poor Flanagan. I love that. I love that name, Flanagan. That's a great name. I might have been a Mick in a past life. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that shit. If I was Irish, I was the one Irish that didn't drink a lot. I don't get drinking a lot. I don't understand it. I get eating a lot. All right. He's got a fatigue move, and his no-nonsense attitude is going to be over here. This is 2 row houses. They do not connect. There's no interconnecting wall here. So if shit starts going out, they're going to have to pour out of this. I take it there's a door on that side. There is. They're going to have to go around to the other part. But this doesn't provide hardly anything at all. And we can't move into the buildings that have flames on them. They're poison. They're killing the ozone layer. Okay? These up here are killing the ozone layer. That was just my way of not making a million different places for the guys to be, and also not have the end of the board here, which looks stupid, Okay, so we only have Varela that's in the middle of the street. What is that? Puerto Rican last name or something? Varela. Schaefer. Schaefer is this guy with the MG42. He's going to move up here. We're still waiting for the assistant. Schaefer's assistant is still putzing around, looking for all the belts of ammo that he should have had ready. But oh no. He was reading Mein Kampf for the 14th fucking time. Stupid Nazi. Hey, just wait till I get some SS guys. Those guys are going to be real dicks. All right. Halm, I guess, is just taking up the place of his assistant. He's going to move up in here. Well, he's not really an assistant, so I'm going to have him go long as well. He can go up over here. We can get that tree out of the way. Is there space for it over here? Yep. Boop. By the way, what I found out with the trees is this size works better. The little trees you can't put a big enough magnet in them. And they work, but they don't work as well. So, if I need to buy more trees, which I still didn't use up all my trees. I'm okay on trees. I need more bricks than trees. Okay, who's up next? Terry. Terry is up at the building. Okay, he's the first guy there. I'm going to see if he has a line of sight to anybody. Now, he went up there and he saw some guys cross the street. So he knows there's folks over there. Okay? He knows there's folks over there. So let me get my own personal height advantage. All right? We're almost through the first turn. Let me get my own personal height advantage. And Terry is up, and let's kill this light. Terry is right here. So he's not going to be able to see any of these guys in there, and he can't hold fire. So he doesn't really have a target right now. That comes out pretty good on the freaking camera, doesn't it? Everybody moved. Had these guys not moved, he'd be able to shoot at them. He'd be fatigued. I mean, it'd be like his shot would be doubled. So at this point, he's already in a position where he needs to be. He's at the doorway. he's going to go ahead and use his action to remove fatigue. Now he's in good shape. Okay? And Terry's done. All right, who's up next? Varela. Speaking of venereal diseases, that's what it sounds like. The guy's got a case of varela. Varela. Okay, so he's been designated. He's going to be the guy that's going to go over to this side. So I think we're going to go over to this doorway. That's where he's going to hang out, at this doorway. Okay? He's protected. He can get out of that building if shit goes sideways. He could scream at those dumb motherfuckers that went up to the roof. That's where Varela's going to go. Got 4 or 5 left. That's about it. Zorner. Okay, Zorner is the light machine gunner here that's already ahead of everybody else because Metzler told him to hustle. And he's not fatigued, so he's going to move again. Okay, but we don't want to move within 6 inches of the edge. He could potentially get shot at. Oh, he's still got a ways to go. So we're going to lose this tree. Or just move it off to the side. That'll work. I don't know if this game allows pre-measuring, but I'm going to allow pre-measuring. So the only thing that's not great on the trees is, as soon as I find discs that don't have a hole in the middle, because what happens is, you've got this donut, and if it attaches to the donut, it's fine, but if it's near the edge, it's wanting to topple over like this one did. Other than that, the tree system works great. So, we are outside of 6 inches. Okay. Perfect. We don't have no stupid kills. Not yet. It'd be hard to hit them, but I would imagine. As a matter of fact, they probably wouldn't give away their position. So, and they certainly haven't spotted them up there. Now, these two guys are laying prone. Next up is Davis. Davis is up here. I don't think he has a line of fire. It's questionable whether or not he can see him, and it's going to be a bad shot. I'm going to say he's not going to do anything. Because if nothing else, he gives away his position, and he's going to be waiting around for a better shot. Engelman. Engelman is the assistant to Zorner. And he's one step behind him because Metzler ordered Zorner to move an extra time, and Engelman couldn't go with him. I don't think Engelman was even out of the vehicle at that point. So Engelman is going to move. Up here. I'm not going to fatigue move him. He might need a hustle for some reason, and if that's not going to work. Okay? And we're going to take a bathroom break when we're done with this turn. Short one. Dickerson. Dickerson's up here. Same thing. He doesn't really have a shot. He's going to forego his turn. Wallace. Wallace is in the middle of that building, and that's his action. I'm going to have him remove his fatigue. So he's good to go. Okay? Next. Varela again. He's already in position. He's going to stay there. He's done. Unless you want to move him to the top step. I don't think that's a wise move. It's going to be difficult to leave here. You're going to have to, if you want to leave, you have to, go in front of enemy fire. So, Schaefer. Schaefer is the machine gunner, and he's in the woods there. Instead of him moving ahead, I'm going to remove his fatigue. Langer's next. Langer was just traipsing around through these woods. He's going to continue doing so. And it's going to put him about right there. And he's done. One token left. Any guesses who it is? Davis. Because remember, Davis moved up there, but he doesn't have a shot. So that would have been great if he could have caught these guys out in the open. Like if Davis would have gotten any of his actions while these guys were here, that would have been a mess for the Germans. He probably would have been able to spray several of them. Okay? So Davis is done. That's it. All the tokens go back in because nobody's killed, incapacitated, captured, run away, giving up, etc. That's going to be turn 2. Hey, we'll use this building for something. You're going to hold the dice. I'm going to get a bigger die. Can you even see that on the screen? Hello, barely. All these go back in. I'll tell you what, I need to dump them somewhere else so that they're easier to pick up. There we go. That wasn't so bad. And we will come back in a moment. Right back. Okay, we're back. All right. Turn 2. So that took about an hour, which seems like a lot, but everybody's in play, and we had some decisions to make, and I stopped for some input. So, it could have gone quicker. Now, because I'm thinking about it, I think you guys need to check something out. Watch this. This is a little sidetrack. But, these things can be flaming. That one doesn't like to stay there. There, most of the time. You guys got to see this. Actually, I got to see this. I don't know what this looks like yet with all of them. Yeah, we're going to dim the lights. And yes, even you back here. We're going to use these for buildings. We just assume that these have been smoldering for a while. And of course, you guys can't see that yet. All right, we're going to kill this light. We're going to kill this light. Looks pretty cool, huh? Now we're going to kill this one. It's going to get really dark in here. Happy freaking Halloween! Now, let's just turn this one on and see what kind of effect we get with that. That doesn't really work. Anyways, pretty cool. All right. Now we're going to turn these off because we'd like to have some batteries left when, we actually have a tank brew up. Then we'll leave that on. Tank's on fire or something like that. Yeah, we want that. All right. First chip. Turn 2. Calvin. And why is the only Calvin on one side? We're going to fix that shit. I have it on both sides so you don't have to flip it over. Calvin. All right. Calvin gets to go. Where the hell is Calvin? Calvin is all the way up here, fatigued. Well, I don't like the fact that he's fatigued. Do we have anybody here by the half track yet? Left? No, everybody's out of the half track. That was one of the rules. Metzler's the guy that's the farthest in the back. So we can tilt this. Well, we still got some Germans over here in the woods. We'll leave this tilted like this before we go and change it. All right. Calvin is fatigued up in the middle of the building, so he can't see anybody. So do we move to the edge so we can see people but then be fatigued? Or unfatigue him? I'm of the opinion of unfatiguing his ass. I mean, there's nobody really he could see anyways. I mean, he wouldn't know that, but he just ran across the street and climbed up a bunch of a ladder. He's gonna unfatigue. Next, Schaefer. Okay, Schaefer is the guy running the machine gun over here. Okay, so he's just probably going to keep moving down through the middle of the woods. And he'd get to about here. Nobody knows he's there. Nobody can see him. Okay, Schaefer's done. Next, Langer. Well, Langer was bringing up the rear here. I think he's perfectly happy because continuing going down these woods. As long as he's not going to be seen. Yeah, see, when it's near the edge, I can't visually see where it's at. Okay. Langer again. Well, I'm going to look at what spotting is. And we're going to have Langer, because I don't want Langer to be seen. Well, is he less than 6 inches from the edge? Well, he can't see the guys are up there. He wouldn't be able to see the guys are up there. So where's the spotting chart here? That's grenades. There's a simple spotting chart. Chart 1.1. Short range for spotting is 16 inches. Is he within 16 inches of anybody? No. So I'm going to have him move like so. It's times 4 for being in medium cover. I mean, it's like you're not going to see him until he opens fire, basically. Okay. Varela leadership action. Well, Varela is just down there, and then he realizes, you know what? If I get a leadership action token like I just did, I'm not going to be able to tell those yahoos what to do because I can't see them. I can scream up there to them, but they can't hear me really well. So unfortunately, we learn the hard way, he doesn't do anything. Because he's underneath here, he can't communicate with these guys up at the top. Unless he's got a long broomstick bang on the top of the roof. Hey, dumbasses! What's he going to tell them to do anyways? So maybe it wasn't a good idea to have these guys move up to the top. Ben! And there's Varela's action again. So you know what? He realizes, hey, I probably don't need to be down here. So on that thought, he doesn't. He moves up here. Okay? And then there'll be 3 guys that'll have the exception. Well, 2 guys will have the exception other than machine gunners. And he's going to go up here and he'll be prone as well. Okay? With his Garand. He's like, I was calling for you guys. You didn't listen to me. Do what? These 2 guys, do what? Did they say do what in the 1940s? Probably. What's the do what equivalent of the 1940s in America? All right. Worth is up next. Worth is here? No, he's over here. All right, he's over there. He's a rifleman. We said he was going to go long. He's going to continue going along. But you know what? He's fatigued. So let's unfatigue his ass. Okay? It's time to catch a breather crossing through across that street. I'm going to remove this woods. Okay? We're going to remove the fatigue from Worth. It's worth it. Okay? Next one. Zorder. He's a standing machine gunner. He's over on this side. So he's going to get in a position where he can do something and not be spotted. And not only is he moving 3/4, okay, through the woods. I see this tree's being a problem as well. You know, that's why they're removable. Besides, you guys need to see what the hell's in there anyways. But he also needs to drop prone to be able to fire effectively. But he needs to get pretty close to the edge. I imagine this is probably going to be a problem unless he's shooting up, which he would be. So he's going to be able to get to about there. Okay? And he's going to drop prone. He's the only guy that we're making an exception to dropping prone. I guess the assistant can drop prone as well because he's going to be feeding him ammo. Okay? That's Zorner. Next. Terry. Okay, Terry is the guy with a BAR on this side. He didn't know what the hell's going on. He hears some clamoring and nothing other than that. He's just going to miss his turn. He's just going to be looking around out in outer space. There's nothing for him to see. Okay? Metzler's a squad leader over here. He's going to move into position. Keep moving forward. That's his action. He's going to move to about there. No reason to fatigue move. That would be silly. Next. Halm. Halm is calm. He's fatigued, so he's going to unfatigue. Don't need to go into combat fatigue. Bad things can happen. Next up is Alderman. Now that's why I put names on these guys, because I can put a name with a figure. I can't put a number to them. I'm going to remove this tree because it's also being obstinate. I'm going to move it over here. Let's see, where's the edge of this one? There we go. There we go. Alderman's here. He's not fatigued, so he's going to continue moving about so. Next guy, Metzler again. Well, Metzler knows where the machine gunner is. He wants to be close to him where he can see him, but not close enough he can get sprayed as well. So that's a good spot for him to be. Davis. Davis is up on the thing, and he's got nothing better to do. So I'm going to attempt to have him spot these guys down here, okay? Because they're relatively close to the edge. And everything's quiet, and he heard this clanking around here. You know, he's got line of sight. He's up. He's up like so. Okay? And he's in short range, I believe. Yeah, he's in short range. So these guys do a successful skill test, which is a 60, is his base number. Okay? There's no environmental factors. He's not injured. He's not fatigued. Targets in short range, minus 30. He's going to try to spot the machine gun. That's what he's going to do. Okay? So, target is in short range, minus 30. The target is prone, plus 30. So we're even up. Target is concealed behind medium or hard cover. I'm sorry. That's not the one that applies, not the acquisition. It's spotting. This is what we need to find out what kind of woods this is. This woods is, if we go to it's soft good. Okay, it's soft good. Good soft cover, plus 15. So he's going to spend one turn. He's going to spend his action. He's got to roll under a 60, but his die rolls plus 15. That wasn't too bad to figure out. Now I know where not to look. Okay. If they get cockeyed, which shouldn't be, they should be able to just roll and rest right here. So you guys, I'm going to, this is not a die roll. Okay, this is not the die roll for this thing. All right, so I'm going to see, I'm just going to roll them and see if that would get an 83. Yeah. Okay, so we can do that. All right, so this is the die roll plus 15. 18. He rolled a 3. Okay? Yeah. He sees them. So not only does he see them, he lets everybody else know that he's there. All right? So I'm going to put this marker here. And he's like, hey, this light machine gunner guy is there. We just heard Zorner drop. Maybe he had a belt or whatever. He's making a lot of clanking noises. Boom, drops in there. He's ready to fire, and he's spotted. All right? That's it. Unfortunately, spotting takes a turn. I don't really like that, but that's the way it is. At least that's the way I think it is. Alderman. Alderman's up next. Alderman's over here. We're going to remove these woods. Put them over there. Just shifting the woods. Okay? And he's going to move his happy ass about here. Next, Schaefer. Schaefer has got he's a light machine gunner on that side. He's way up in the lead. He's way up in the lead. He's getting the sixth sense that something's going sideways. So he's going to, I'm going to remove this tree. He's going to move about here and drop prone. Because he can watch these buildings over here and he's still pretty far from the edge that direction. That's Schaefer. Engelman. Engelman is the assistant to Zorner. Well, as the assistant, he better get his ass up there. There he goes. Next, Halm. Halm with the calm. I believe last turn he's already removed his fatigue. He sees this huge microphone. What? And he's done. Olszewski, the assistant squad leader. And the leader of this fire team that has the machine gun. He's not going to remove his fatigue counter because he wants to move over there in case he has to activate. He can activate that light machine gunner. Dickerson. Well, guess what? Dickerson is going to have the opportunity to fire the first shot because Dickerson's up here, right next to the guy, Davis, who said, you know what? I think there's a guy down there with an MG42. So Dickerson, who has a Garand, is going to fire at Zorner, who not only knows he's there, but he's right next to the guy that spotted him. And we have a completely clear line of fire to him. Okay? So we'll measure the distance, which should be under 16 inches. It is. $15.5. Okay? He has a Garand. I believe that's short range for it. It is. 18 and less is short range. Okay, so let's go to the front of the sheet. Skill check, spotting miss. Okay, we're not doing that. Oh, by the way, I was looking at the wrong sheet. I should have used this one. His combat value was 60. He rolled a 5 or less, auto spot, and identified. So he identified what that was. Okay. I got another set of sheets in here, and it's kind of like the quick one, and it got confused. I printed them all up 20 years ago, and I tried to go through the rules before I got involved in it too far and remove those other things. This is confusing me, having the two face U. I'm going to have it face up because it is turn 2. Okay, so he has a combat value of 60. That's no modifier. Okay, no environmental factors. He's not injured. Target is prone, plus 30. Okay? Short range, minus 30. So that evens those out. Now, there's a number here that I missed the other day that it was for a subsequent shot. He has a Garand. He can take 2 shots. However, his second shot is plus 20. I'm looking for it. Attacker firing subsequent single shots in the same action. Okay. So here's the question. Do both of them get plus 20 or just the second one gets plus 20? I'm going to look that up because that's important. I don't want to do that wrong. My inclination would be if you have a chance of shooting 2 shots, they both should be penalized because you're taking them quickly. And that's the disadvantage, for firing 2 rounds, So I'm actually going to look it on here. Single shot, I'm going to go to D7. I should be able to find it. Firearms that can fire more than one shot per action, they fire at separate targets as long as all conditions in section 2.0 are true. Okay, what the fuck is section 2.0? So it's 2.0 of this. Hidden unit counter. Okay, that's just spotting stuff. Unless otherwise specified, single shot firearms that fire more than once per action, considered semi-automatic. Doesn't say. It might say it somewhere else, but it doesn't say. So let me look at this. Let me look at this again and see what the wording is on it. The second shot is definitely plus 20. The question is the first one as well. Attacker firing subsequent single shots in same action. Based on that wording, I'd say only the second shot's plus 20. Okay, so first shot, assuming it doesn't mishap or something. Let's put this. This can go somewhere else. This is a precarious place for it. What the fuck is going on here? Okay, so we have a problem. Even though I did a bunch of preliminary shit and made sure nobody was missing, I've got two characters that aren't in play that should have been in play. And I don't have chits made for them. Okay, so I'm going to make an executive decision. Okay, one of them is actually, this guy's the assistant to Schaefer. So here's what we're going to do. They're going to get thrown in now, but they're still in the half track. See, even with all the proper stuff, you still, and I don't want to remove them from play because I want the attackers to have a chance, but they just had a lover spat in there. So I'm going to need to get 4 of these. See, shit happens. If you don't like how I do it, well, then you can fucking run the game next time. We got Littmeyer. 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 Every game, there'll always be an asterisk. Shit happens, man. Life's too short. And Freeman is the other guy. You know what? Yeah, they'll just come on the board here next to the half track. There wasn't space for them. Okay? Shit happens, man. I'm like, why are they still down there? You talk to my producer. No point in giving them a raise. They fail all the time doing shit. Okay, so the first shot is even because he's plus 30 for being prone, but he's short range, minus 30. So that one's even. The next one's plus 20. Okay? The terrain that he's in is soft good. Right? Unless there's a modifier for being prone on here. So let's go to ground. Yeah, he's going to get the extra plus for being... there's only one if you're in the open. If you're in the open and prone, it's different on the terrain. Yeah, this is prone only. Okay? So it is considered soft good. Okay? So on that chart, we're going to roll even on the first one. All right, here we go. First shot. Who is it? Dickerson. Don't be a Dickerson. I don't know really if I can do this. It's kind of, let's see, how can I do this? Let me just have one go down. Yeah, I guess you can see it, but you can't see it anyways. So you have to freaking trust me. All right. Let's see if we can roll it up here. First one. That's a 22. 22 even on that chart. That's a pretty good roll, especially with soft good. He's incapacitated. So he just showed up to get incapacitated. 1 to 3 is walking wounded. Nope, he's a vegetable. Roll to see what kind of vegetable he is. Okay, so we have an incapacitated German. No point in putting the prone down. With an MG42 just sitting there. There it is. Anybody gonna cry for Zorner? Depends how many times he's read Mein Kampf. Why would anybody want to read it once? Good job. Of course that means that he's probably auto-spotted. I'm going to go back to spotting. I like this quick spotting thing. I'm not even going to look at it. He's an eligible target. Okay, there's rifle fire that came. Oh, he has a second shot. He's going to take it. I said he was going to do it, so he's going to do it. Okay, because it's like, I mean, it's like, oh, I think he's dead. So this was plus 20. 89. Okay, it turns into nothing. Okay? So he's definitely spotted. We'll remember that. I'm not putting a spotting counter on there. We know that there's something up there. Okay? So, Dickerson's done. Next. Leadership action for Metzler. Well, Metzler happens to be right here. Okay? He just saw that happen. And he's not thrilled. So he's going to say, you know, because it's going to take somebody to move up and then an action to pick up the MG42. He's going to say, hey, you, I don't know who you are. Oh, it's me. I'm Langer. Langer, shoot at that guy that just shot down here. So he's going to tell Langer to activate and shoot at Dickerson. It'd be ironic if he shoots him, if he hits him, isn't it? Okay, so we know it's about 16 inches. Is that short range for the Car 98? It is. It is. 16 is short range. And he's just a little bit, he's basically even with him, so he's the same range. Okay, so let's go to that chart. Okay, now we got to find out what, because we haven't done this one before, what terrain this guy's in. Okay, so he is not doorway, not window, not wall, he's not in a doorway. He's not in open ground prone. I'm going to say he's in rough ground prone. That's the thing that's the closest. He's not inside of a building. I'd say he's rough ground prone. I mean, that's rough. There's stuff there. I mean, that's pretty fair, right? Rough ground prone. That's medium partial cover type. Okay? So what modifiers do we have? Well, he's prone, so he's minus 20. He's plus 30, but he's in short range, so it's minus 30. So those even themselves out. One shot at an even, and it's medium partial, right? Medium partial. So I'm going to go ahead and put a counter. That's actually probably a good thing. I'm going to take a fire lane counter, and I'm going to put it on that line. So I don't have to find it again after I roll it. Medium partial. All right. Even up, medium partial. Car 98 round. Pow! 71. Okay? And a 71 on there is no effect. Over 70. What the hell just hit the ground? A stupid fucking counter. All right. We need to put another. We need to find another place for those to go. I don't have one right now. Okay. Next one. That was Metzler's leadership action. Notice that it did not use one of his. Okay. Olszewski. And that's him himself. He's going to remove the fatigue. Next. You guys enjoying this? You guys awake? Let me know if you are. Don't forget to subscribe, man, if you guys like this. I'm going to take this fire lane counter off. Terry. Terry has a BAR. Terry's BAR is in the doorway that's over here. He saw this guy come under fire. There's nobody there anymore that he can see. There's nobody he has line of sight to. I think he's going to attempt to spot this light machine gunner that just dropped prone over there. And I'm going to roll, because it's got to be a really low roll, okay? He's got nothing else to do. He can't hold his fire, you know. He's going to go ahead and roll to try to spot him. 43. All right, now let's see if that does what we needed to do, okay? I'm going to go to the simple spotting chart. If there's something I don't want to spend a lot of time figuring out, it's spotting. It's unexciting. Sorry. Okay? Range. Is it short range? Is it under 16 inches? It is. Okay, it's about 12. Okay? So it's short range. He's got to get under his combat value, which is a 60. You roll a 45. Okay? That's minus 30. And target is prone. That's even. I'd say he spots him. Skill resolution. Where is that one spotting check? 45. He spotted him. But he knows there's somebody over there. He doesn't know what it is. That's, I guess, if you have a GM, you can just tell him, hey, there's a guy over there, but there's a figure. It doesn't tell him that he's an enemy. It doesn't tell him what he's equipped with. Anyways, he sees that there's something over here. Okay? I wish that didn't take an action. It just seems kind of, wasteful. But it is what it is. Keller. Keller is the blonde fellow that is... Where is he? Oh, he's over here. Well, he just heard... He's like, oh man, maybe I can dump this Mauser and I can get a MG42. So he's going to move over here where he's at. He doesn't need to move with a double or anything. Good way to trip over like a roots or something like that. Notice that we added the guys that weren't in here before, and they still haven't come up. So they're still sucking face in the half track. Wallace leadership. Well, guess where Wallace is? He's there where he can give orders to any of those three guys. Two of them are fatigued. One of them is not. The one guy that is not fatigued has a BAR, and it happens to be the guy who just spotted this MG42 guy that knows there's somebody over there, prone. So Wallace is going to say, hey, you sack of shit, fire at that MG42. There's a crowd over there. So that's what he's going to do. He's going to tell Terry, open up on him. Now, Terry has a BAR which has spraying fire but there's nobody else around him. So he's only going to be able to get him. Okay? So he's going to spray fire into there. Okay? It can affect 3 guys. There's only 1 guy, so it's only going to be 1 roll for him. Okay? If we remember correctly, what terrain that is, I believe it's soft good. I'm going to check it again. I believe we determined that's got to be in a different place. That's twice that's happened. There's no Mitch here. I guess I'm the resident Mitch. That is... I guess this is what's actually held everything up. Tree foliage, soft good. Yes, soft good. All right, where is the box that these come in? There's a small box. Yeah, it's being used by something else. Well, not anymore. So when they get used, they'll get dumped in this box. Small wrinkle. Let's make sure that none fell down here, and then we have another situation where not everybody gets their turn. Okay, perfect. So it's soft good. So I'll put the fire lane marker on that. On soft good. And the modifiers for it are nothing for the fire value, nothing for environment, nothing for injury. Target in short range minus 30. Target in prone plus 30, so we're even. Attacker firing LMG minus 20, so we're at minus 20. Oh, here we go. Here's a modifier. Attacker firing MG with no spotter or loader. He doesn't have one. That's plus 10. So now he's at minus 10 total. That's it. Minus 10. Minus 10 on this chart. This could be bad. BR. 74 becomes 64. 64 on that chart is a morale check. His morale is 60. We will go to the morale resolution table, which is on the opposite side. I'm going to put this fire lane marker under 60. And see what we get. Oh, what modifiers are there? Good order unit with an inch? Nope. No, that's it. So we took some of these charts that were in there in the wrong place last game, and now it's easier for me to figure out. So just, we said it was minus, even up, right? Even up. Just need to get under 60. 46, he's golden. Okay. That's it. That is Wallace's telling Terry to open up with a BAR. Okay, so he just took fire from over there. So guess who we can see now? That same guy. And the field of view of this game is 180 degrees. So he can shoot over there, he can shoot over here. No big deal. You know, he'd be able to... Oh, it helps if you point this down. There we go. All right. Where's my baggie? Let me get that out of the way. We shouldn't need that. Okay. It's moving a little bit better than I thought it was going to, honestly. Okay. Martin's up next. Martin is one of these guys that's behind the window. Now, he can do a couple different things. He's this guy right here. Oh, shit. I shouldn't have given him a plus 10 because he did have the loader next to him. Oh, well. Shit happens. He was tired. He was fatigued. Okay, I'm going to have him remove his fatigue because I don't want his die roll doubled. I think that's just going to be. I think that's the wise move. We're going to remove his fatigue. And this goes in the container. Crawford's next. Crawford is the other guy next to him. He's also going to remove his fatigue. Right? Well, these little painted floor things actually work pretty well. This was pretty much everything's been working out pretty well. The only thing is I wish these washers didn't have a hole in them, so it'd be a larger area to grab a purchase on it. But, you know, if I ever see those discs that, you know, I think I looked for them one time online and they wanted like a shitload of money for them. Martin. Guess where Martin is? Martin is right here next to him. Martin is going to shoot at that guy he can see that's been identified with his Garand. Okay? So it's going to be short range. Okay, his firearms resolution table is a 60. We know it's soft good with a plus 30 because we know that he's prone, but it's also short range. And he can do 2 shots. The second one's a plus 20. So, what is it? Short range but prone. So, even up. First shot. 56. 56 is a morale check. 56 is a morale check 1. So that is a minus 20, a minus 10 to his morale. So he's got to roll. He's plus 10 to the die roll. Sorry. So it's a 31 becomes 41. He's good. The second shot is a soft good, but it is plus 20 for a subsequent shot. 90. Is that a mishap? No. It's just a miss. He just missed not having a mishap. Okay? That was Martin. That went a lot faster than yesterday. Okay? So one thing I'm going to do the next time I play, before I start, I'm going to make a chart of just the terrains of what they are. Like this is soft good, this is that, this is that, and then it'll be easy to find. That's what's taking longer than anything else. Okay. We're going to get this going really smooth. Next time it's going to go even better. And we're going to introduce a vehicle. We're going to introduce a vehicle that is not armed. And I hope somebody gets run over badly. I want somebody to get run over badly. Littmeyer finally can get out of there. Okay, so Littmeyer is here. He's heard some fire. He's going to go through the woods. Okay, so Littmeyer is going to exit, and he knows he's zipping his pants up as quick as he can. He's going to hustle as fast as he can and get a fatigue moved, and he's going to end up about right there. Okay? Well, Littmeyer is actually the assistant to that guy. He ain't crossing over there. That's just suicide. Tough titty. It's too late. It's too late. Next one, Wallace. Okay, Wallace is back here, and that's his actual action. So Wallace, as much as I'd love for him to go to the top story and start firing over there, he's not. He's only going to be able to direct one guy up there instead of 3 where he's at. And there's not really a window for him to go to other than this one over here. So he's going to be over this window, still within the radius of these guys. And he'll be able to see out in this direction if something goes sideways. Okay? He's going to be able to look over like this. Okay? You guys awake? Come on, man. It's getting exciting. Worth. Worth is right back here. Is Worth fatigued? Nope. And he's not going to get fatigued again. Well, not in this situation. He's going to move over here next to the squad leader. Hey, boss, what's going on? I don't know. Shut up. Shut up, shut up, shut up. Littmeyer gets to go again. Littmeyer's going to go ahead and take his fatigue off. Okay? Crawford. Crawford is the guy on the end there in that building. He's going to shoot at him. Okay, 2 shots from the Garand. He's in soft good. Okay, the prone and the short range cancel each other out. That's it. So the first shot's even, the next one's plus 20. First shot. Garand. 48. That is a morale check 1. Okay, so he's got to pass on a 60, and he's plus 10 to his die roll. 70, so it's actually 80. So what is an 80 on a morale check? Remember, there's still another rifle fire coming at him with a plus 20. An 80, he is shaking. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Okay? Second one's plus 20. On, flip this back over. We'll get the hang of this. Now I know next time I want one of these loose so it's not connected. It's working okay. Soft good, there we go. A fire lane counter helps a lot. Or anything with an arrow. 45 becomes 65. 65 is another morale check. This is a standard one. Is there a modifier for being shaken? I'm going to look here, and I'm going to be careful so we don't do it wrong. Okay? We don't want to do shit wrong. By the way, shaken, what does it do? Unit must go prone. It's already prone. Times 2 for all actions until removed. Okay, so yeah, so it's double. No fatigue moves. Removal takes 1 action, automatically removed. Okay, so he doesn't have to roll for it. If he's a leader, his zone of control and RA are halved. Okay, so morale modifiers are soldier shaken or pinned or broken. It's times 2. Okay, so his die roll is doubled, according to this chart. Good order unit within an inch. Nope, it's farther than an inch. That's it, right? That's it. So his die roll is going to be doubled. And he needs to get under 60. 37 times 2, 74. Shaken. I believe a subsequent shaken doesn't matter. I'm going to look that up though. Okay? Let's move this out of the way. So far, so good. I'm going to have lots of opportunities to get this really going well under my belt. And I've got a wonderful, I mean, the board isn't huge. Okay, in the wintertime we can go to the fighting garage and do like real battles, like with, like tanks and stuff, okay? But hopefully we'll have infantry nailed by then. But I can, if this takes 3 nights or 4 nights, it's not a problem, okay? I don't think it has a subsequent. I don't think you can double shake. Let me look here. I don't think he gets another shake encounter. I think he is where he is. Okay, let's go ahead and move this back to firearms resolution table and get ready to put the fire lay marker on whoever's next, because there's a good chance that whoever it is, it might be able to fire. So that was shit. Now I don't remember if he gets a second shot. I think that was the second shot. I don't know if I fucked it up, then it didn't happen. But Crawford did his thing. Larson. Fog of war, folks. Some things just don't go according to plan. Larson's all the way back here trying to direct something. And he catches his breath. He's done fatiguing. Next guy up. Davis. Well, Davis is up here. He spotted this MG guy. Actually, he hosed him. Langer's fired. He's right next to him. He's going to spray fire at Langer. It's right next to him. Can't get anybody else in that spray thing. I'm going to go ahead and remove this spotting thing because, well, he spotted. I'll go ahead and move it over to him. He shot a rifle fire. I'm making an executive decision that he's spotted. He's right in that same area. That is short range for the BAR. It's soft good. He's not prone. It's short range, so it's minus 30. He's firing a machine gun. Considered an LMG, so it's minus 20. That's minus 50. Wow. It's minus 50. That's fucking deadly. Next time we'll be able to play with stances, I think. Okay, minus 50. 30. Pretty sure he's dead. Under 10, dead. KIA. Well, Langer won't make it to the next battle. We're going to give him a cross. Because somehow I don't remember if he rolled. Somehow he survived the first battle, so somebody was looking out for him. But he forgot to say all his Hail Marys, so you're toast, dude. 2 Germans dead. Man, that BR is nasty. And that's just not in one magazine. There's changes and stuff like that happening all along, okay? It's figured in. Langer didn't make it. Killed by Davis. Zorner. Zorner's dead. Hanging out with Langer. Varela. Varela's up here and he's prone. Both of these 2 targets are up there dead. He's going to try to spot Alderman that's over here. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and roll. Actually, I take that back. Forget that. There's an active guy shaking over here. Okay? And there's a good line of sight. I mean, that's why you get on the damn roof for starters. Going all the way over there. He's got a Garand. He's going to take 2 shots at him. He's about 19 and change, not quite half. 19 and change away. I believe the short range for the Garand is 18. Let's see if that's correct. Yes. So it is effective range. Thank you. The terrain is soft and good. He's prone, so it's plus 30. This is interesting. There's a note here for a plus 10 if the attacker is firing a clip-fed MG. So I'm going to assume that they made the perennial mistake of calling something with a magazine a clip. So the LMG, when I'm firing the Garand, it should not be a minus 20. It should be a, when I'm firing the BAR, it should not be a minus 20. It should be a plus 10. Okay, well, shit happens, you know. There's always going to be something that gets away from you. So, yeah, so that should have been, that would have made that shot less nasty. But it probably would have killed him anyways. I rolled really low. When I get something wrong, it's because God intervened and, you know, he wanted a different result. Okay, so soft, good. He's prone, so that's plus 30. That's it. He's plus 30 on the good soft. And we're going to do 2 shots. So one's plus 30, the other one's plus 50. Plus 30. 88, no effect. Plus 50. 56, no effect. And you have to have a natural like 91 and above to have a mishap. So, no effect on either one of those two. Da-da! Next, Larson. Larson's all the way back here. We're going to have him move up. And he can get to about here. Where's that other clown that's inside the vehicle? It still hasn't come out. Freeman. Olszewski leadership thing. That's this guy. Okay? And you have Schaefer is shaking. So on his leadership, I wonder if he can give the order and do the recovery action. So, a leader may remove a shaken counter on another soldier as a regular action on their soldier card, or as an action through a leadership card, see 16.0. A leader can only remove their own shaken counter on their soldier card. All right, so we're going to take this down. We're going to see Rule 16.0. A leader through normal action can remove a shaken, and a leader must have authority. When a leader uses a recovery action to remove morale effect, the soldier does not have to make dice rolls required for self-rally. The counter is simply removed from play. Okay, so he's definitely going to do that. The question is, can he give him an order, or does that use it? Is it either or? But regardless, even if you don't allow to give him an order, we're taking the shaken off. Okay, that's automatically from him. He's well within his radius. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to check I'm going to say that I'm going to err on the side that you cannot do both, because that is the conservative choice. When in doubt, always do the conservative thing, because it'll always be allowed. Let's see here. Let's go to recovery action. See if there's a leadership action. We're learning here, folks. B6. The leader type table lists the number of leadership actions that a unit leader may have. Some competent leaders will have no leadership actions. When filling out deck tables, okay. This is a number of levels of morale that may be recovered on one leadership card. The recovery actions may be spread out to numerous soldiers on the same. That kind of leadership quality. I don't know if he can do both. Well, for the sake of argument, I'm going to let him activate as well, because the Germans are getting trashed right now, and they're on the attack. They already got 2 guys dead, including one. So I'm going to make an executive decision, and yeah. Now, one of the things that this guy can do is he can put down a fire lane. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to spray fire, and I'm actually going to spray fire up here. Okay, and you can catch all 3 guys up there. Okay, so that's what he's going to do. He's going to take his, and he's going to spray fire up in that area. Okay? And if I got that wrong, please let me know after the game, so I won't do it next time. Although it doesn't seem, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Okay, so let's measure the distance. I suspect they're effective range, not short. They're about 20-ish. MG42 is 16 for short range, so it's effective, yeah. So, let's go to the firearms table and look at the modifiers. We're going to go this way, okay? And it also targets the leader first. I think I can probably hop around. I think that's probably poor form. I think you need to go one way or the other. And it actually makes sense to go closer to farther away. I guess you could walk it either way, but in this case, we want to hit the leader first. Okay, he is medium partial. Let's look at the modifiers. Target is prone, plus 30. Attacker firing LMG, that is an LMG, that's belt fed, minus 20. However, it does not have a loader or a spotter, which gives it a plus 10. Okay, so it's plus 30 for being prone. It's minus 20 for firing a light machine gun, so now we're plus 10. And it does not have a loader, so now we're plus 20. Plus 20. Is there a subsequent thing? I don't think so. Plus 20 on Varela. You're going to keep falling over? I'll chop your ass down. Make paper out of you. Plus 20. 44 becomes 64 on Varela. 64 is a CC. What the fuck is a CC? Courage check? I think that's what that is. Let's go to morale and see if the CC is listed here. CC from ERT, FRT, courage check. Okay, so let's go and see what that. Never gotten one of those. That's less than. It should be less nasty than a morale check. Courage check, B11. It's a hell of a lot easier to find than shit in the DVA handbook. Okay, courage event. The lowest level morale event is a courage event. This type of morale situation is for threatening events that normally be encountered during combat. A courage morale check may also be called a courage check. If any of the courage events occur, all affected units must make a morale check. Okay? Failing the courage check for a courage event causes the soldier to become shaken. Okay, well, I mean, why didn't they just make that a shake result? It's kind of the same fucking thing. Okay, well. So his morale is 60. Let's roll. This is Varela. 31, no problem. No problem. Okay, now unfortunately, I don't remember what the factor was. The machine gun. It was plus 30 for prone, right? And it's an LMG, so minus 10, minus 20. So now we're at a 10, but it has no loader, no assistant, so it's plus 20. Okay, and that's medium partial. Okay, so plus 20, plus 20 on Dickerson in the middle. 94. Okay, is that a auto fail 2? Let's see what auto fail 2 on a belt fed weapon is. Mishap. Auto fail 2. Automatic. Full. It's a fail because it has no loader. If I had a loader with him, that would be negated. So if I had an assistant next to him, then he'd still miss, but that would negate that type of a fail. So we have a mishap, okay? So there's going to be no effect on this guy, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there's no effect on that guy. I'm going to roll the mishap and then I'll look and see if it's still... I would say that... I'm going to look it up, but still, I don't think that's going to happen. So, we have a mishap results on automatic. We want to roll low. 9, that's not low. That is a malfunction. I believe that means that the weapon is out of play. Not a good day to be a German. Okay? Not a good day to be a German. Where is the malfunction? Well, good thing you got a P38, because that's what you're going to be using, pal. Schaefer just fucked up his MG42. Great job, champ. Okay, now I'm going to look and see if all the shots... I would be surprised if that's the case. but I'm gonna look into it. So we're gonna look at our firearm combat. And we're gonna look at our spray fire, D7. Oh, found out something interesting. So the fire lane is the same as the beaten zone. So actually for machine guns, it's actually a zone like this. So they're definitely in that. I did not know that. Okay, cool. All eligible targets must be resolved separately on the FRT table. Each resolution can result in a mishap. Well, by that wording, I'm going to say that each can give you a mishap. So it mishap before it got to this guy. So he's not affected by it. My call. So, okay. All right. We're learning, man. It's actually going better than I thought it was going to. I tell you one thing though. Well, a lot of it depends on when the chits come up. I mean that's huge. When chits come up is huge. No, we need to put this. This needs to go back. I need to orient thing. I need another table over here behind me. Okay, that's Olszewski's leadership action. Okay. Freeman. But it's only written on one side. Bastard. Finally. Now he's going to zip his pants up. And he knows but he's behind the ball game, so he's going to fatigue move. Here. Next. Engelman. Well, Engelman was the assistant there that of the MG42. So I'm going to say that he probably knows where it is. So he's going to move up to it. Actually, he's going to drop prone and sneak up to it. Now, I'm going to allow him to go prone because the weapon is down on the ground. And he's going to try, when his turn comes up, to take action of it. It's going to take a little bit of effort. Hopefully Metzler can help him navigate through that. Okay? That's what Engelman's going to do. Calvin. Where is, oh boy, Calvin? Well, Calvin's up here at the top. You can't see anybody. Now he's going to move over to this window here where he's got some options. And Calvin's done. Wallace. Wallace's leadership again. Okay? So he's going to tell Terry, I'm going to say, with all this fire, he doesn't know, it's questionable that you could see him, that he would even spot him. And he knows this guy's over here, but he doesn't know that his weapon malfunctioned. So he's going to tell Terry to open up with a BAR again on Schaefer. Okay? Who happens to be prone with a malfunctioned weapon. But he doesn't know that. Okay? So that's short range. So first of all, it is, what did we say? Soft good? Okay, he's prone, so he's plus 30, but it's short range, that negates that. Attacker firing clip-fed MG, plus 10. We're going to say that he does have the loader spotter. There's a guy right next to him. Plus 10. On the soft good. 27 becomes 37. 37 is a morale check times 2. A morale check 2. So that's a minus 20 morale check. It's a plus 20 morale check. Sorry. I need to get under 60. It's plus 20. I roll a 99. So it's 119 on a 60 morale. That's not good. He's pinned. Now, I've got little boxes for where these counters are. The problem is they're only one-sided. Okay. He's pinned. Pinned. Unit must go prone. He started prone. Times 2 for all actions, so all his actions are doubled. No actions except pin removal. Removal takes 1 action. Self-rally to remove. He can't self-rally. He's going to Olszewski's going to have to do that. So, okay. Next. Freeman again. Freeman's going to remove his fatigue. Wallace. That's he himself. Where he's at, he's looking at that window. He can't see anybody back here. I'm going to say he's not even going to try to spot anybody. I think that that's questionable, if he'd even be able to do that. Dickerson's up here on the thing. He does have a height advantage over this guy dropped the machine gun. I'm actually going to roll to see if he's going to try to spot the guy that took over his machine gun. I'm just going to roll. It's a 96. He didn't spot shit. Okay? So that's his turn. And the last guy is Keller. Okay? And Keller is here. So what Keller's going to do is he's going to move prone, and crawl over here next to him. So he's going to be the assistant for Engelman when Engelman gets a hold of that MG42. If he does. He's prepared to help him fire that thing. All right? That's the end of turn 2. Now, the first turn lasted from 8 to 9. This one lasted from about a little after 9 to 10:30. I'm not going to do another turn because it's probably going to last to midnight using common sense. And I'm pretty tired. Everybody okay with that? We can pick this back up on turn 3. Pick this up on turn 3, and I have a feeling some Germans probably need to start chucking some grenades. A grenade here might change things over here a little bit. But they're just getting up into position, and I'm thinking Alderman is looking like the guy that should be doing that kind of thing. Okay? Metzler's in a good position, just kind of managing this machine gun crew. Got a couple other riflemen coming up. You know, hopefully Olszewski's can come up soon enough and unpin this guy with the MG42, and he can do something. That could have actually done something against those guys up on the prone on the building if he hadn't had a malfunction. That's just unfortunate. But that's just how the cookie crumbles. So, anyhow, pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how smooth it has been going. I'm sure there's a couple things that I got wrong. It went a lot better than last time. I think that if I do a game or a turn at least every 3 days or once a week, it should be fresh in my mind so that we don't have a lot of mishaps. Um, but there you have it. Face of battle, or at least my version of it. I'm just going to wait for somebody to say, you're not playing the game right. Fuck it, I'll change the name of it then. You know? But so far, so good. Yeah, it's been a bad zone here with the, I know for a fact I did the BAR wrong one time because it's a clip fed, but that was only a difference of 20. Maybe he killed him anyways. He rolled really, really low, like 15 or 16 or some shit like that. So this is your father's game. Haha, cheer. Your dad is, the author? Is your dad, Michael Ball? Tell him I said, hey. I played this game 20 years ago. It's been 20 years ago since I played it. And I've been doing Ancients and Medievals since then, but I'm a World War II guy. A buddy of mine and myself in the mid 90s were coming up with a set of rules that had a lot in common with this. It was percentile. It was actual distance like this. The only thing I did different was I was playing in centimeters, and we did a centimeter equals a meter. So it's a tiny little bit of compression, maybe 90% compression, just because it made sense. I like using metric. I'm not a fan of using inches. And that was different. We kept track of individual ammo and shit like that, Been a lot longer than I've been alive. Just got this recommended and sent it to him. Yeah, let him know I'm enjoying his game, man. I've got an area set up. I'm 100% behind this. And he should put this stuff back out. Hopefully he'll get some more sales. So, anyways, I haven't played it in 20 years. And I'm going to be doing this on a regular basis. I love World War II, and I like this crunchy. I like stuff this crunchy. So I am just starting out. I'm going to get lots of stuff wrong, and we'll get through it. But tell him I said hi, and I'm on Facebook, so I don't know if he is. So best wishes to him, and thanks for creating this game. So I found this game. I heard about it probably through the miniatures page around 2001 when it came out, and it was spooky how similar it was to the stuff that we were doing. The only thing that we did differently is we did a hit chance on the figure and then roll for location and damage to the figure instead of it being all figured in the effect and the in one. So that works. But yeah, I've been enjoying it so far. Anyhow, yeah, I hadn't played this in a long time. The last time I tried to play at a convention, and I took on too big of a game, and in a 4-hour session that needed to end no matter what, and I had to explain the rules to everybody, and I'm going about it differently. I'm going to get comfortable with this, and then I will introduce this to people, and they're going to play one side, and it's going to be kind of like a role-playing game. I'm going to run one side, so as you can see, I'm not spending a ton of time making these decisions. And I can do decisions like, that guy wouldn't do it. He wouldn't know that somebody's over there, that kind of stuff. Instead of like, hey, come over here. I need to talk to the GM and leave. You're never going to get anything done. Okay, so it's going to be kind of like a role-playing game in that everybody's going to play on one side, and then I'll run the other side. Because I just want the narrative. Because the narrative is really interesting. So, especially when you've got characters that have their names on them, and interesting things can happen to them. So, anyways, that's excellent. That's excellent news. So this is where we're going to stop for tonight. And we will probably pick up, I would imagine, at some point tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe to my page, and you'll know when I'm back on again. And yeah, It only took It only took the third video of the Face of Battle to get somebody who's involved in it to chime in. So that's excellent news. Okay, folks, we'll see you guys on the next one.